Moving on, China has launched its mega connectivity and infrastructure project with 29 world leaders attending a global forum. India has been conspicuous by its absence, and China's foreign ministry has said India's refusal to join the One Belt One Road initiative is regrettable. But New Delhi's boycott won't affect the project. India maintains that the China-Pakistan economic corridor, which cuts through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, challenges India's sovereignty. Well, joining us tonight on the buck stops here, India's former Foreign Secretary, Shyam. Thank you very much for speaking with us. Is India being short-sighted in its opposition to One Belt, One Road, or is this a crucial strategic decision in your opinion?
Well, that's for the government to really say whether they have taken a strategic decision. But from what I understand, that as far as the major initiative itself is concerned, while India has reservations about the CPEC, but with respect to the OBOR itself, I think the Indian position has been that this is something which requires closer consultations between India and China. We need to be able to understand what will be our role in shaping this particular initiative, what will be our role in that initiative, and how this is going to be taken forward, what are the financing methods which will be used. My sense is that China has not been very forthcoming as far as these aspects are concerned.
So are you saying that then there are doubts about China's end game, China's final goal here? Is it, an attempt to get larger geopolitical heft in the region rather than just have more connectivity or, go beyond infrastructure concerns? Are these doubts not just India's alone, but other countries who are at this summit as well?
Well, it remains to be seen, isn't it? I mean, it is only if the two countries engage on this issue will that become clear. Let me give you the example of the Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank, which India has joined. Or you take, for example, the BRICS Development Bank, in which India also has been a very important participant. In the shaping of both these initiatives, India had a very major role to play. How will that bank will be structured, what kind of lending policies it would follow, what would be its personnel policies. As you know, these are both initiatives which have been initiated by China, led by China, but India did not have any reservations because we were very much part and parcel of the consultative process through which this particular initiative, the AIIB or the Development Bank, came to fruition. That kind of an exercise has been missing with respect to the OBOR. It is essentially a Chinese initiative to which you are going to be, to which you are being asked to sign on without really knowing what the dimensions of this particular initiative would be, and as I said, what would India's role in it will be.
But there's clearly one dimension that India is highlighting and objecting to. Can any country really accept a project that ignores its core concerns on sovereignty and territorial integrity?
Well, my view is that, the Chinese activities in POK is not something which is new. These activities have been taking place in the past. We have objected to that, but that has not prevented India from taking part in or working together with China on items which there are convergent interests. So I don't think there is need for a departure from that particular approach, that we confront China where our interests are being violated, but at the same time we should not preclude the possibility where there are mutually beneficial avenues of cooperation between the two countries.
But
I think yes.
Has India though handled its response strategy well enough, or has it ended up just looking like a churlish neighbor who's let suspicion get in the way of regional cooperation?
No, I think that's not a correct assessment, because every country at the end of the day has to decide what in its interest. Maybe other countries see a certain interest for themselves in signing on to this initiative. I think if there is an element of caution on the part of India with respect to joining this initiative without really knowing what precisely it means in terms of Indian participation, I think a certain degree of caution is well founded. But as I said, it's a question of whether or not China is willing to sit down together with India and work out what are the ways in which the two countries can cooperate on various projects which may be there in their mutual interest. That kind of exercise I have not seen happening.
So sit down and have negotiations, of course, but would this project have been acceptable to New Delhi if it didn't include the Pakistan corridor through POK, or is it the very existence of this One Belt, One Road initiative that's going to be a strategic challenge for India?
Well, as I mentioned to you, that my sense is that successive Indian governments have not really precluded the possibility of working together with China on projects which are of mutual benefit, even though we have protested on China's activities in POK. So there is a certain history. After all, Chinese activities in POK are not of recent origin. But we have not let that stand in the way of our working together with China, where there are mutual interests involved. And I do not see the OBOR in the same category as other items on which we have actually worked together. As I mentioned to you, we have worked together on the AIIB, on the Development Bank. After all, we have become members of the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We work together with China as part of the trilateral, that is the India, Russia, China trilateral. So it is not an either or kind of situation. But as far as the specifics of the OBO are concerned, I think if China is able to pose to us, look, here is a port development project, say on the Indian coast or in Myanmar, that we can work together. These are the ways in which we can actually work together in terms of improving connectivity. I doubt whether India would have a problem with that.
All right. Shyam Saran, thank you very much indeed for speaking to us on the Buck Stops here tonight. Well, that's it on this edition of the Buck Stops here.